Hey there, YouTube. Right now I'm going to do a deck profile on my Machina gadgets. This is a pretty much an old school deck that I topped at regionals, not regionals, but sorry. I topped at a bunch of locals with my Machina gadgets, and I've actually won first a couple times. But I'm going to show you pretty much what this build is. It's a really fun build, very inexpensive. I say inexpensive. The reason it's inexpensive now is because most of them are commons now, and most of these cards go for like dollars, sometimes less than dollars. But yeah, I'm going to show you this, and if you have any questions, comments, just leave them below. Just tell me what you would do to make this deck better. Okay, first of all, everybody knows what Fortress does. Fortress is the beater of the deck. It's a house of a monster. If it's targeted by a monster effect, you get to pop a card in the hand, actually look at it, which is really nice. And once destroyed by battle, you pop a card on the field, which is super nice. Okay. Okay, 3-gear frame. Yeah, it's the Stratus of the deck. Really, there's not much to be said. It's a union. You can attach it to a machine monster, but without Machina gear frame, this deck would be actually kind of dumb. It wouldn't even really work. 2 Cannon. Cannon is actually a very good card. I've won many duels, many battles because of Machina Cannon. Ditch a machine type monster, special summon him. He gains the attack of how many machines you sent to the graveyard. So he can get big pretty quick, but really just ditch like a gadget and special summon him defense. He has a 2200 defense, so it works really well. Okay, you have 2 green gadgets, 2 yellow gadgets, and 2 red gadgets. 2 of each. I don't run 3 of each just because it's very cloggy, and pretty much the gadgets really only work really well when you don't draw into the search. So 2 is efficient. Actually, tell you the truth, it's rare to see somebody run 3 of each. 2 Decoichis. Decoichi, you can flip, draw a card. 4-star machines, good for exceeding, and also all the gadgets are good for exceeding, and even the gear frame is good for exceeding. And actually, the Fortress is really good in exceeding. You can get Big Eye, you can get Shockmaster, you can get Utopia, just pretty much any good for rank. 1 Drag, 1 Gores, just a couple hand traps. In this deck, there's no need to run Max C's and Effect Veilers and stuff of that nature. 3D Prison, just because in this format, exceeding is huge. And D-Prison doesn't destroy the monster, just removes it from play, so a lot of exceed monsters don't get their effects. So, and even better exceed, destroy right here. Because it doesn't destroy, it just sends it back to the extra deck, so compulsory gets over on a lot of exceed monsters. 2 Dark Bribes. Actually, I was thinking about maybe somehow squeezing a 3rd one in here, just because there's so many people who are relying so heavily on trap and magic cards in this format. Say magic, spell cards and trap cards. That shows how old I am. But I really like Dark Bribe. It's really helped me out a lot, especially when somebody wants to, use, warning or use judgment, or especially against wind-ups when people want to use when they need to use their monster born. Even sectors, it works really well because in sectors relies heavily on Call of the Haunted and Monster Reborn. So Dark Bribe works very well. 2 Warnings. Warning is an excellent card. You gotta be careful not to pay yourself a debt to death, but 1 Torrential, just because 1 is enough. You don't need to run 2 in this particular deck. 1 Judgment and 1 Force. People's like, why don't run 2 Torrentials or 2 Forces? It's unnecessary, just because you don't need that much destruction. And Torrential hurts you a lot too. 3 MST. Just because back row destruction is something that's heavily needed right now, especially in this format with insectors, windups. Chaos Dragons not so much because they don't really rely heavily on their back row, but pretty much insectors and windups rely heavily on their back row. So 2 potted dualities. Everyone knows what I do. 2 forbidden chalices. I don't see a lot of people run chalice. I think chalice is a very good card. You can use it during your turn or your opponent's turn, and forbidden chalice works really well against windups. So does Effect Veiler, but Effect Veiler really you only can use it during your opponent's turn, which for windups that's all you need. But I just like having the option. I mean, yeah, you have to set it. Effect Veiler works from the hand, but I really like chalice. It's just it helps me out so much. And you got your staples: Monster Reborn, Pot, Limit Removal, Mind Control, Dark Hole, and Heavy Storm. Pretty much the basic staples for a Machina. Speaking of Limit Removal, a lot of people think this card is going to get banned in the upcoming March ban list, and I don't really know why they think that. It's limited to 1. Yeah, it promotes O2Ks and gadget decks, but gadget decks aren't really topping, so they're not really looking at gadget stuff. If they hit anything, they'll hit some of the gears. Okay, now let's go for the side deck. Okay. 2 Dust Tornadoes. Dust Tornadoes actually works very well in this format because we go back to back row destruction. 1 Ultimate Offering. I put it on my side just because I rarely draw into it. And when I draw into it, it's really nice. But I rarely draw into it, and most decks that I play against, well, when I go to tournament, I'll throw in Ultimate Offering, but just to play around, this is my play deck, so it's nothing ridiculous. 1 Torrential Tribute and 1 Mirror Force in the side, just in case I gotta throw my Torrential and throw my other. 2 Smashings. Smashing Ground is a very good card in this format. I really like it, especially against Frog Monarchs. Take out Obelisk because it doesn't target. Yeah, that'll piss people off. 2 Noblemen across out. People are still using flip effects and face down monsters, so I feel Noblemen across out is a good playset to have in your side. 1 Econ and 1 Book, and 2 Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragons is very good. Even works good in Chaos Dragons. Does it work in Chaos Dragons? It sure does. Now let's go for the extra deck. Not really a whole lot going on with this extra deck, just because this is once again, this is my fun deck, so it's nothing, that I'm going to spend a bunch of money on. I put all my money and effort into my, Chaos Agents, and this was my main deck, but not anymore. I have my token for my Gores. Yeah, it's a card of me. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. 3 windups, and just because I like it a lot, and it's a good 25 beater, and it works really well with the Koichi. So Pearl and Utopia. These are only 2 this is the only exceeds I really have for this particular deck. Just because I don't really put a whole lot of money and effort into it, because it's my fun deck. But if I were gonna have some really nice exceeds, I'd have the Gear Giants easy. I would have 2 of those puppies. Ditch a XYZ material, and you can ditch an XYZ material to add a machine level 4 lower to your hand, which it works awesome in gadgets. I would have Shockmaster, maybe a couple of Shockmasters. I have a Utopia, I have a Pearl. That's really all about it, really. Now I have some level twos and some level threes. See in my agent side deck, I mean extra deck, which I'm going to do another profile on it because I kind of updated this deck a little bit. I got the gotchis, oh no, gotchi, and Dark Mist, and then I have Leviathan, another Leviathan. You have Zenmaines, Ten Tempo. This is actually a really fun card. Utopia and Pearl, and then you have the Synchros. I don't really have this for my gadget deck just because there's no point in having two really awesome good decks. So, oh, that's just what I think, anyways. So, Pearl. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much my gadget deck. It really at the best. And also some things I would add. Inside, I put some bottomless trap holes. I put all my bottomless trap holes in my agent deck just because it just works better. But if you have any questions, comments, YouTubes, or anything you would like to add or take away, just leave the comments in below. All right, peace out, YouTube.